What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky Unboxes, we're going to be taking a look at the next project I'm going to work on. And yeah, it's not Gunpla. I'm a little Gundam burned out right now from Double October. So the next thing will be... big ol' box. The 1/5000 scale Bandai Star Wars Star Destroyer, and this is the lighting model. Now I picked this up from Gundam Planet a few weeks ago, and it's just been sitting there waiting for me to finish Double October and the other custom projects I've been working on. So this is going to be a really big box to have to undo, so let's just kind of try to lay it out here. It's huge. This is one of the biggest boxes I've had to do in a very long time. I'm just going to take the lid and kind of set it elsewise out of the way. Good lord. Like, the largest thing I've had to unbox was the actual Millennium Falcon a while back for the guys at Hobbytown. So, but this one, I figured I'd do it. So this is the Star Destroyer modeling guide. Let me focus. Here we go. And this is not really the build instructions. It's all about like the actual thing. It's pretty cool. And then it goes into how the original was built and if you want to do it a different way. So you can either light it the way it comes in the box, or you can actually do some fiber optics. So if you got like optical fiber, some plastic pieces, some aluminum tape, this gives you the instructions for doing it that way. So you can even see right here how it's going to go. Even if you're going to paint stuff, you know, poke at things, make little lights come through. So if you are a more experienced builder when it comes to these kind of things and you're going to do fiber optics and all that, this is your instruction sheet to help you get there. But for the most part, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do it the normal way. And then here's your different stuff on the inside. So all that. And then if you get to it, this is your regular build guide, which is actually pretty neat still. And because I'm going to do it this way, I'm not really going to do like a straight build, so to speak. I'm going to, you know, do a little bit of work to it as I go. But for the most part, I'm going to follow the instructions. So I looked at it already a little bit, and basically lining out how to set up your LEDs first. And it does seem like the build itself is fairly simple. It's just mostly big chunks of stuff and a few little bits here and there. And then routing your lighting is like the main issue, making sure you've got like the reflective material. Like this is actually a mirrored sticker, stuff like that. So I like this. That looks pretty sweet, if I'm honest. And that's about as straight buildy as it gets, I guess. It looks pretty cool. A little bit of paneling, stuff like that. But like I said, it's a fairly simple model, but most of the time is going to be spent running your wires. And it shows you, you know, wrap it around that little piece, tuck it away a certain way, stuff like that. So that's all super duper important. So now I'm looking forward to it. And one thing that's scary, so this is a 1/5000 scale. Because the old school Imperial Star Destroyers were over a mile long. That's insane. So here's our LEDs and stuff like that. I'm actually going to leave that still self-contained. I don't want things getting like all crazy and out of order. And I'll come here. There's a couple things I'm probably not going to unbox because I don't, or unbag, so to speak. I don't really feel like it's necessary. This looks pre-painted. Am I crazy? Oh, hey, something I haven't said in forever. Bags on the floor. Is it? Does it look like that's pre-painted? Or is it just me? I don't know. So that's definitely one of the main thruster holes. Hold on. I've got to adjust. I don't know what's going on. Lighting is just not cooperating with me today. When it's daylight out, it gets even harder to film things. But that's one of your main thrusters. There's some smaller details. Looks like the back of the bridge section there. And so this is part of what I was talking about. I'm not going to bother with. So clear parts. So if you're going to do the fiber optics, you can totally do this. And you get the full clear parts. They're molded exactly the same as most of the parts we're going to look at. But you can actually run the fiber optics to it and paint over the clear. Like I said, not doing that. There's just too much effort. But the option is there. In fact, you get an entire clone runner here of all of those clear bits. It's all the sides. It's almost all of the surface detail, which is crazy. So I'm going to set those aside down here. Not technically bags on the floor. And there's your basic model building instructions. Okay. And I was watching a video this morning that was covering the biggest type of vehicles that the Empire had at their disposal. And the normal Imperial just Star Destroyers like this weren't even that big. Because things like the Executor, stuff like that, those were like 14, 15 kilometers long. And then even the one like Snoke's command ship is something like 16 kilometers wide. Or maybe it was even longer than that. I forget. 60, yeah. So it's enormous. So when in episode 8, when everybody's getting pissed, why are they, they're having to shoot from so far away? You got to understand the scale of that. Those ships are miles wide and long. So the distance they're actually firing is much further than you think about. So this is obviously the bottom of the ship, which is pretty cool. It's actually got some nicely molded detail here. You can see all these nice panels and stuff. And you're going to be able to see lights through a lot of this. There's little pinholes in certain sections, stuff like that. This is the little ship bays here and here. And then this is another little part there. And you can see all the inner workings of stuff and even some extra detail here around the edges. I dig that. That's pretty cool. And you can see where the main LED connections and stuff are going to be. And then the very vaguely done sprue connected everything. Okay, so I may as well do this side of the box. Like I said, there's not a lot to the kit, so it's not going to be a super long build. But I have a plan. Big old bags on the floor. So there is your mirror stickers. They're going to help you reflect your lights where they need to go. And you got blackout stickers for covering things you don't want light leaking through. So that's actually pretty cool. You can always use paint. I might, just depending on where that's going to go. I do, of course, have a decent amount of black paint left. So throw that there. But then you've got the like main surface detail kind of runners here. So I think this one is the inside of that hole right there. And you got the narrow side parts here of all that. Look at all the tiny little details. You can get the little pinholes all throughout, which is probably going to be really hard to see, but where all the light's going to leak through. That's pretty cool. And then I'm not entirely certain where these are. It looks like the side parts going up the sides. You get little tiny hoses and details, things like that. And of course, I've done X-Wings, I've done Y-Wings, stuff like that. So this is definitely a very different scale. Everything else I've got is 1/72nd scale. This is 1/5000th. Just let that sink in. So you've got the upward sides here, all this super tiny molded detail. Now, they actually made these from scans of the original screen models, which is crazy. And then you got these here, and I think those were like 3 feet long or something like that. And then, of course, they scale it. Some more bits here. Just looking at all the little details. I don't even know what the heck that is, but it's super tiny. So gonna have to be real careful when cutting stuff up. This looks like it's the top of the bridge where the little shield generators are, the most exposed, stupid part of the whole thing. One thing that seems really funny about shields in Star Wars, ships can go through them, energy weapons, not so much. I was even watching episode 8 the other day, and I was like, wait a minute. So those huge weapons are hitting the shields, but Kylo and his fighters fly right through them and into the belly of the ship to blow it up. So you got some stand parts here. Those are going to be necessary because this thing won't float on its own, so to speak. I just realized I might as well just put the stuff right back where it came from. And guys, this thing comes with an extra band around it when it's brand new. If you're not planning on opening it anytime soon, leave that band on because it keeps things from falling open and going everywhere. That happened to me. I had this thing standing on edge without the plastic band on it, and everything kind of fell out in a weird order. So here's the top surface of the ship. Actually, it doesn't look terrible with this little sprue here. That's kind of funny. I do like you get little detail bits here, and you can start seeing all the pinholes for the lights in the surface right there. These look like gun batteries, something like that. Of course, it does have weapons like all over it, but I like the rivet kind of looks. Obviously, that's not what they are, but you know. And then the sheer amount of panel and surface detail is ridiculous. It's so cool. And then you look on the inside, you really see where all the holes are for those windows that are supposed to be lit up. It's pretty neat. I like the way they're doing it. So, I mean, basically you're ending up with an LED in an open little hole, and then just shining through the purposeful leaks, you know. But I feel like they planned it out in such a way you're not going to end up with accidental leaking areas, you know, like you're not going to get in gaps in the panels as you're assembling, stuff like that. Hopefully, anyways. But, of course, if you're much braver than me, then you're just going to use the fiber optic method, which, you know, maybe down the line I can attempt. You could always do it again. That's one thing that they've made kind of clear. If you ever want to do it down the line, obviously building it one way will not hinder you from, in the future, doing it another. So here's clearly the front of like the command bridge area. Once again, a lot of little pinholes in there, and then whatever that little gappy is. Some more little areas. These look like around the thrusters, if I had to guess. The big old super thrusters, or whatever. Little panel for filling in stuff, but it's got a bunch of holes in it, so I'm guessing that's going to be see-through. Here's like, I guess the most, it's either the topmost or like the frontmost little spot. It looks like it fits. Yep, right through there. Cool. And then some more little bits here, and then whatever those are. Obviously, I don't know what all the bits of the thing are. And we get this section. Okay, so this is the rear where the thrusters are coming out. So that's for sure. So that's a good sandwich that way. Here is some more main cover for the top. Here's you another thruster cone, which is pretty cool. I like the fact the LED is just like blink right there. And you got smaller ones up here. Okay, so those are your shield generators. Those are the things I couldn't figure out what they were on the front. Here's the whole back section where the LEDs are all going to plug in. So that's a good thing to know. But look at all the molded detail. You got hoses and pipes and all that kind of stuff. That's crazy. And yeah, I mean, this thing could probably do with a buttload of panel lining or a wash or weathering powder, whichever method you want to attempt, because it does look like it will take all of it that you can throw at it. That's pretty neat. I'm impressed. Like, honestly, these Star Wars kits are getting better and better. Okay. So this particular runner is very interesting because it's more of a structure than anything else. Now, of course, you get your base, or bases, because it does have two kind of that interlock. So to hold it all up and everything like that. I like that the lights and stuff are self-contained. You don't need the base for that. So if you want to hang it up and have the lights work, totally can. But this is what I was talking about. So you got this nice, super reflective, probably ABS plastic if I had to guess. But a lot of your mirrored stickers and stuff are going on this. So this is like your internal structure that's going to help block things off. Like if you saw when I was briefly flipping through it, there's big triangle sections of mirror that go on these bits. So that's to help reflect light towards the holes. I dig that. Now the other thing that's really neat about this particular runner, you got itty bitty Falcon. Itty bitty. Tiny 1/5000th Millennium Falcon. And also on this end of the runner, you got an itty bitty blockade runner. That's pretty cool. So that's the Tanta 4. So from the very first opening scene. And it does come with, I guess you saw it earlier, the little bitty mounts. So you can actually have them flying kind of in front of it if you want. But one thing I thought about doing, since the Falcon never got taken or anything like that, I was going to have it actually glued to the back of the thing right by the trash chute so that it'd be ready to fly away. There's very, very little surface detail on those, but if one were so inclined to just add like a little bit, like some black dots and stuff like that, which I'll probably do. And then with the Tanta, there's very little surface detail, but you know, you can always paint a little bit on. Obviously don't want to leave them just bare white. So that is something that is gonna get done. I think this part was over here too. Looks like there's very little. But just to give you an idea, that's roughly a foot long, you know, so it's about 12 inches. So that's where it gets that 5,000th scale. So roughly in that range. It's pretty cool. So, but guys, let me know what you think down below. If you've built it, you know, if you got any tips, things I need to look out for, stuff like that, by all means, drop it down below. And of course, once again, we get the repeat of the clear sections here. I think that might actually be I think it's just a replication of that same runner right there. And then, of course, the LED set, which I've got batteries laying around. Thank God it doesn't use anything crazy. It's just something like AA's. And you do have multiple switches for lighting up different sections. So if you want to just have the thrusters lit up, stuff like that, you can do it. And I think even the LEDs are different sizes. Like, to have them specifically marked for different sections, stuff like that. So I look forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try out a technique I have not done before, but I'm waiting on stuff to come in the mail next week. And that will be a thing. Hopefully this one won't take super long. In fact, it might be on an episode of Brews and Sprues at some point soon. I don't know. It just depends on how long it takes me to do it. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Or incredibly challenging, which way? Yeah, I think that the LEDs are going to be my hardest thing. I normally stand these things up, but as I was talking about before, flipping it on vertical makes a big mess. So, and now that everything's sort of loose in there, I definitely don't want to do it. But guys, give me a big old thumbs up if you like this video. Hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And if you haven't checked out all my other Star Wars builds, by all means, go do that after this unboxing is done. So we've got the Y-Wing, the X-Wing, and the TIE Fighter so far. And I've still got another X-Wing and a B-Wing and stuff like that waiting in the wings. But I'll catch you guys on the actual build. Of course, thanks to my patrons for always supporting. If you want to join the Patreon, become a patron here today. Link is always in the description down below. And at least for the moment, the SHOKY store is still open if you would like to help support the channel by buying some merchandise and stuff like that. But, guys, until the actual review, remember, as always, keep on building.